Buried within you are secrets that no dusty scroll can hold. A tiny circle that lives quietly at the center of your body, your navel. We see it in the mirror and forget it. But ancient cultures whispered, this spot is not merely a scar, but the soul's doorway. What if that tiny gateway is leaking your power? What if sealing it could restore your vitality, intuition, and inner spark? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover is a power you never lost, only forgot. There are secrets hidden not in temples or tombs, but within you. A single spot on your body, round, silent, unassuming, holds the memory of your beginning. We call it the navel, the belly button. But it's not just a scar left from birth. It's a doorway, an ancient portal, a forgotten lock to a power that once flowed through you like a river of stars. Before you ever took your first breath, this was your connection to life itself. But what if the cord was never truly severed? What if sages across time were right that this tiny center still holds the key to awakening your deepest energy? Let's journey into the ancient mysteries of the navel and rediscover what the modern world has tried to forget. In the ancient Vedic traditions of India, the navel wasn't ignored. It was honored, protected. They called it Navi, meaning boat, center, or vessel. To the rishis and yogis, this wasn't just anatomy. It was your internal fire, the seat of Manipura chakra, your solar plexus of personal power and will. But deeper still, beyond the 7 chakras, some tantric teachings spoke of a secret chakra hidden in the navel's center. A power point that links heaven and earth inside you. They believed that mastering this energy allowed one to balance the material world with the spiritual. Because right here is where nourishment and giving meet. Where you received life and can now give it meaning. This was the original ignition point. Where the divine spark entered the body, where the soul first touched form. Travel east, to ancient China. There, Taoist sages described the navel as part of the lower dantian, the body's primary energy reservoir. Not symbolic, but actual. The dantian was the elixir field, the invisible cauldron inside your abdomen that refined qi, your life force. It was said, he who seals the cauldron masters his essence. Qigong masters and martial artists placed their hands on their bellies not for comfort but for command. To direct energy. To stop it from leaking, to center themselves before channeling inner force. This was their compass in storms, their anchor in chaos. The navel wasn't a forgotten detail. It was the furnace of the inner alchemist, and when sealed with breath, focus, and intention, it transformed scattered energy into pure presence. Now let's cross the ocean, to the ancient civilizations of the Americas. To the Mexica, the Maya, and the Aztecs, the navel was more than body. It was the center of the universe. Their sacred symbols reflected this. The 4-petaled flower, etched into temples and manuscripts, marked not just the cosmos, but the human belly. They believed this spot was where heaven, earth, and the underworld converged. A miniature axis mundi, the meeting place of worlds. In their languages, words for heart, center, and navel were one and the same. To them, the human body was the map of the cosmos, and the navel was its center point. It wasn't just a myth. It was a lived reality where breath, energy, and divine order flowed. Even in the mystical corners of Judeo-Christian texts, the navel appears not as an afterthought, but as a vessel of sacred flow. In the Song of Songs, the body is described in poetic layers. One verse whispers, "Your navel is a rounded cup that never lacks wine." A strange image or a clue? Wine, symbol of spirit, wisdom, transformation. The cup, symbol of the vessel. Together they describe the navel as a spiritual container, constantly overflowing with inner essence. And though institutional religion later buried this knowledge, the mystics remembered. To them, the body was a temple, and the navel, the door through which divine energy poured. It was never just about heaven above. It was about the divine center within. 4 cultures, 4 ancient rivers of wisdom, and all of them point to one forgotten truth. The navel is not a scar. It is a sacred seal, a portal of energy, a map to the center of your being. In the modern world, we're told to ignore it, but in the ancient world, it was everything. So maybe it's time to remember, to reclaim the wisdom of the body, to place your awareness back on the doorway, right at your center. Because sometimes the most powerful gateways are not out there. They're already inside you, just waiting to be touched. There's something quietly draining you every single day. It's not your job, not your phone, not even other people. It's something you never think about. A tiny doorway at the center of your body, a soft, round scar left from the beginning of your life, your navel. What if I told you this wasn't just a leftover mark from birth, but a valve, an ancient portal through which your vital energy slowly leaks? Have you ever felt tired for no reason? Unfocused, emotionally unstable, like something is slipping away, but you can't name it? This might be why. This is the energy leak no one talks about, and today we're going to talk about it. Your body is not just flesh and bone. It's a sacred container, like a golden chalice designed to hold life force. Ancient traditions called it prana, ki, vital essence, life oil. No matter the name, it's the same thing: your energy, your inner fire, your spirit in motion. Now imagine this body cup filled with luminous oil, but at the bottom there's a small crack, tiny, nearly invisible, and from this crack the oil slowly, silently drips out. No matter how much energy you pour in through food, rest, even meditation, it never feels full, because the leak never stopped. This crack is your navel, and when left uncovered, it behaves like a valve left open, not symbolic, real. Energy flows out unnoticed, unguarded, until you feel scattered, drained, or off-center. The navel is the only spot on your body that once connected you directly to life itself. It was your lifeline, your source, your cosmic cord. But cutting that cord at birth doesn't mean its energy function ended. Across ancient cultures, from India to China, Mesoamerica to the Middle East, the navel was seen as more than skin. It was an energy portal, a sacred eye, an intelligent mirror that both absorbs and emits life force. But here's what's truly mystical. This mirror isn't passive. It actively responds to the environment. When you walk into a room, it picks up vibrations. When someone speaks to you with intensity, your navel feels it. When you're exposed to chaos, your center tries to ground it. But if that doorway is open, instead of containing your energy, it spills it. This is why you can feel exhausted after crowded places or emotionally flooded after simple conversations. It's not all in your head. It's flowing through your center and leaking out. This leak doesn't scream, it whispers. It shows up in subtle but persistent ways. Mental fog that lingers, emotional fatigue after interactions, that sense that your boundaries are too porous, that people take from you, and you don't know why. Ever sat quietly and suddenly felt overwhelmed for no reason? That's the leak. Ever meditated and felt calm, but a few hours later you're scattered again? That's the leak. Your body is trying to hold presence, but the valve is open. You're like a lantern trying to glow, but the wick is wet and the fuel is running dry. Ancient wisdom saw this thousands of years ago, and they knew, if you don't seal the center, you lose yourself. Modern medicine calls the navel an umbilical scar. Nothing more, a leftover. But the ancients called it a gateway, a cauldron, a cosmic eye. So how did we forget? Because the world taught us to look outward, to chase energy, not guard it, to fix symptoms, not seal the cause. We became scattered, disconnected from our center. And as we did, we stopped listening to the navel. But some people do notice it. They instinctively cover it during sleep. They feel a pinch there during stress. They hold their belly during emotion. not for comfort but protection. Your body remembers even when your mind forgets. The navel is like a soft mirror reflecting what enters, but also what leaves. It's sensitive to strong eye contact, emotional energy, public spaces, sexual tension, spiritual presence. That's why rituals, meditations, and even martial arts begin with covering or focusing on this point. When you're exposed, emotionally or physically, this spot opens wide, and without awareness it acts like a sponge and a faucet. People with intense emotions can drain you through it. Heavy environments can distort you through it. It's not weakness, it's sensitivity. And sensitivity is sacred, if protected. So what now? Awareness is the first step. But action seals the shift. This isn't superstition, it's spiritual science. Covering your navel, even with a soft cloth, a palm, or sacred oil, tells your energy, I am safe, I am whole, I am sealed. It's like closing a valve. Suddenly energy builds, clarity returns, the chaos lessens, you become contained, centered, protected. So next time you feel drained, anxious, or scattered, don't reach for another distraction. Just return to your center, place your hand on your navel, breathe, and remember what leaks can be sealed. What's forgotten can be remembered, and the doorway you seek has always been within. There is a hidden doorway on your body, a place so common, so ignored that we forget it even exists. It's not your third eye, not your palms or your crown. It's your navel. Yes, your belly button. But don't be fooled by how ordinary it looks. Because this tiny circle is not just a birth scar, it's an ancient valve, a forgotten energy portal that can either feed you or drain you. And right now, you might be leaking energy through it every moment, every day, without even knowing. Let me show you why. Your navel is where life first entered you. Long before your first breath, this was your lifeline, your umbilical connection to nourishment, breath, and vitality. But once the physical cord was cut, something strange happened. We forgot it. We assumed it had no purpose. We called it a scar. But across ancient cultures, from the Vedic sages to the Taoist masters, the navel was considered the center of personal power, the core of energy flow. It wasn't just symbolic, it was functional. It was viewed as a living valve, an invisible eye, and a spiritual opening. So what does this have to do with energy loss? Think of the body as a sealed container filled with subtle energy, your chi, your prana, your essence. Now imagine a tiny opening in that container, barely visible but always open. From that crack, your life force slowly seeps out. The result? Fatigue with no cause, emotional imbalance, feeling disconnected from yourself, not because of your environment but because of a quiet leak at your center. The navel, when left unsealed or unguarded, becomes like an open door. Energy doesn't just flow in. It flows out. This is what ancient mystics tried to tell us, that covering or protecting the navel was an act of energy preservation. In India, this center is known as the Manipura chakra, the seat of inner fire and willpower. Yogic masters believed that when the navel is disturbed, personal strength becomes scattered. In Taoist China, the navel is the lower dantian, the main reservoir of life force. Taoist sages would meditate on the navel, focusing warmth and breath there to seal the energy inside. In Mesoamerican cultures, the navel was viewed as the center of the human universe. The word for center was even tied to the navel and solar plexus, where spiritual and physical realms meet. Even in hidden Judeo-Christian texts, the navel is called a cup that never lacks wine, a metaphor for overflowing inner power when protected. What do all of these systems have in common? They saw the navel as sacred, central, and energetically alive. Fast forward to now. We wear tight clothes that press on the navel unconsciously. We expose it in crowds, in stress, in sleep, and we never give it a second thought. Yet we wonder, why do I feel so drained in public? Why do I wake up tired even after rest? Why do certain people take my energy without touching me? It's not always spiritual attack. Sometimes it's the leak. Left open, the navel acts like an unfiltered gateway. Your energy can escape, but others' emotions and intentions can also enter. The result? Your energy field gets foggy, your emotions become reactive, and you feel less like you. So, what can you do? You seal the valve. This doesn't require rituals or expensive tools. It starts with simple conscious protection. Here's what ancient traditions suggest. Place a small patch, cloth, or tape over your navel, especially during sleep or spiritual practice. Gently press your palm over your navel when overwhelmed. Use sacred oils like frankincense, lavender, or myrrh and anoint this point with intention. Visualize golden light sealing the center. Whisper, I protect my center. My energy stays with me. It may seem small, but this act communicates directly with your energy system. It tells your body, the valve is sealed. The container is whole again. Your navel is not just a leftover, it's a living symbol, a spiritual lock, a portal of power, a forgotten mirror. The body remembers what the mind forgets. Seal the center, hold your energy, and feel the shift return. You don't need to believe it blindly, just try it and let your energy speak for itself. Your power didn't disappear, it was simply leaking. Now it's time to bring it home. There's a ritual. So ancient it was whispered from teacher to student, so simple it was nearly forgotten in the noise of the modern world. Yet so powerful that those who practiced it claimed renewed clarity, deep energy, and unshakable peace. It involves no temples, no chanting, no long hours of meditation, just one small gesture. Over one small point on your body, your navel. Because hidden beneath this small circle lies a valve of life force. And ancient mystics believed if you do not seal your center, the world will take your power for you. This is the practice of sacred sealing, not superstition, not symbolism, but what some called spiritual physiology, real energy intelligence practiced by yogis, Taoists, and energy healers. It begins in the morning. Morning sealing ritual. Before stepping into the world, take a small piece of cloth or medical tape. Gently place it over your navel with intention. As you do, say quietly, with this seal, I protect my power. I hold my energy. I walk as my whole self. It's not the object, it's the consciousness behind it. The body hears what the mind whispers. During chaotic days or draining environments, pause. Place your hand gently over your navel. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply into your belly. This small moment draws your scattered energy back to center like calling your spirit home. Evening closure. Before sleep, warm a drop of sacred oil, frankincense, myrrh, or lavender. Rub it into your navel slowly. As you do, imagine a golden seal forming. Say, I close the gateway. I gather my spirit. I sleep within my shield. The ancient ones knew your sleep is a temple, and the navel is the door. Day by day, this ritual becomes a habit, and soon your energy field feels stronger. Your emotions feel cleaner. Your decisions feel sharper. Not because something outside changed, but because you sealed the center inside. This isn't about fear. It's about sovereignty. It's a declaration that your body is a temple and your energy is sacred. So, start today. Seal your navel and begin to walk through the world whole, present, and unshaken. You didn't expect it. You simply placed your hand over your navel, sealed it with intention, and walked into your day. But something was different. You weren't scattered. You weren't drained. You weren't absorbing everything around you like a sponge. Instead, you felt calm, rooted, clear. No one told you it would feel like this, because the truth is the most powerful transformations aren't loud. They arrive as subtle whispers in your nervous system. The first thing people notice? Focus, like a fog lifting from the mind. Then energy. Not the jittery kind, but a calm, steady fire in the belly. You might feel more grounded while talking to others, less reactive in traffic, more tuned into your own emotions rather than everyone else's. It's not magic. It's mechanics. Your life force is no longer leaking out from your center. Then come the deeper shifts. Heightened intuition. You begin sensing things before they happen. Feeling people's energy without them speaking. Trusting your gut. And being right. Dreams become clearer. Some report vivid symbols. Others feel themselves traveling, healing, even receiving guidance. Why? Because when your navel is sealed, your energy doesn't scatter, it ascends. You're no longer wide open, you're tuned inward. And that's when your subtle body begins to whisper back. One woman sealed her navel before a job interview. She walked in calm and radiant, not nervous. She said, "I felt like I was in my own bubble, unshakable." Another man used it before sleep. He'd struggled with anxiety for years. After a week of sealing, he messaged, "I finally slept through the night, and I woke up with clarity, not dread." These aren't miracles, they're what happen when energy returns to its rightful place. Don't expect lightning bolts, expect whispers. Expect your body to hum instead of scream, your energy to glow instead of burn out. It's the subtle changes that become the most powerful over time. Seal your center, stay consistent, and let your own experience speak louder than any ancient book ever could. They told you the navel was just a scar. But now you know it's a portal, a silent gate to your inner energy. Left open, your power leaks, but sealed with awareness, you awaken something ancient. So today, don't just listen, try it. Cover your navel with intention. Use a soft patch, your hand, a sacred symbol, and feel what shifts. Feel your center anchor, feel your energy return. Because sometimes what you seek outside is simply waiting to be remembered within. If this opens something inside you, like, comment and subscribe, and share this with someone who's ready to reclaim their energy. Because the most powerful doors aren't out there. They're inside you, and this one, your center, is waiting to be sealed.